Hey dokes, so here we are set up. Tail light that's already working, already plugged in, and our new tail light, different coloured wires. So I guess you could say my process for going this is literally trial and error. Just like I did before. I'm not here advertising that I'm some bloody guru that can get it first hit or anything like that, so you've got to understand and be okay with the fact that you're going to muck it up a few times and it could get a little bit frustrating. The whole key to this is being patient with it. So we've got a light that works, we can function it as previously illustrated. Power's on, the tail light that's already working with its black wire is plugged into the brown. So we'll turn it off to make sure we don't give ourselves any sort of little zap, and we'll just go for a straight black to black. So unplug the black, plug in the new black. Simple as that. It's connected, that one's out. Pop this down here so we can all see what's going on. And we'll just see what happens. So power's on the bike, function the black that I've just plugged in, still going with the tail light itself, isn't it? So what we'll do is just literally turn it off, plug what we unplugged back into it, and go, okay, so that might be earthing, that might not be. We can't tell, essentially, because we're not using any of our fancy stuff. If it is earthing through, then that's still going to function because the other two that are here from the connected light are activating. So, plug him back in. Again, it's just taking a guess. And then we'll take a look at the other two. We've got a black, white, and a red, it looks like, for the connected tail light, and we've got a blue and a green. Now, I usually start this off trying to figure out what colour's closest to what's plugged in already and what's already functioning. So, given that we've got a red and a black white, and we've only got a green and a blue here, I'll just literally take a guess. I'm going to go the green into the black and the blue into the red and see what happens. Hopefully I'm actually going with what I said I was just going to do, because these colonial pales are delicious. So the old tail light is now completely undone and we're on the new one. Holding the three apart so that we're not connecting any of these to each other and creating an arc. Let's turn on the power and see what happens. Oh, we have a brake light. And we've got it with the foot as well. So let's turn on the power. We'll go to the driving lights. That's created a light. So our driving light's on. Let's see if the brake functions. It's quite a dull sort of look to it. It's not like it's even functioning in the other filament for the brake light. So we go all the way up to full lights. Headlights on, tail light hasn't done anything. There was a little bit of a dip there. Here's the tail lights. It's like more power's coming through to that filament rather than activating another filament. Same with the foot as well. So we've got something not quite right. However, when the lights are off, we've got a functioning tail light. So we'll turn them off. So power's off. We'll leave the black connected to the brown because the black was on the brown for the previous tail light. So there's a certain amount of certainty you can have to say that that's the earth, I believe. And again, not an expert here, feel free to correct me. I'm here to be corrected. So what we'll do is swap the blue and the green on the lines they're on. So blue will now go into the green, yellow, green, orange, and green will now go into green. Can't believe I didn't see that before. So now that we've got them spread again, we've swapped those two around, we'll put the power on and we'll see what we've got. So power's on, let's go tail light, or brake light should I say. Brake light is functioning, which is good. With both receiving the signal, we'll turn on the lights. Right, lights on. It's quite bright, a lot brighter than before. Let's go with the applying the brakes. You can see a bit of a dim there, but obviously we're not doing the right thing because we don't have a visual, specific sort of indication that the brakes are on. It's just dimming it. So we've done something wrong. Turn them off, turn the power off, and as we're sitting here, these are the two we swapped before. So let's take the black and let's put it on the green. Again, it's just guessing. You're not using special tools, you don't need the special tools, you're just going through a process of trial and error. So the black's going onto the green. Let's put the green over to the, I'm fairly sure it's brown again. The colour perception has been rated as CP3, which means that I've got a red-green deficiency, so you've just got to bear with me. But the whole illustration of this is to, I guess, show you that you don't need the tools and you don't even need to see colour. You just need to understand what you're trying to activate. When the light goes on in this, there's a driving light that's going to be there, and then when a brake light activates, the second filament for the bulb is going to brighten up. So we'll give this another test. So we swap those two, the black and the green. So power goes on again, let's function the brake light. Yeah, still functioning, that's great. Functioning with both. Let's go up to the lights. It's quite bright, isn't it? And then we function the brake lights. So nothing's actually happening there. Maybe the slightest of dips all the way up, still nothing happening. So we're not right. So we've swapped those two. Let's swap the black with the blue. So the black's plugged into the green and yellow, and the blue's plugged into the green. Let's just see what happens. Getting our wires sort of mildly tangled, but there we go. So we've just made again another basic swap. Power on, function the brake. Still quite dull. Still quite dull. Light goes on and nothing's happening. Still nothing's happening. Not the right thing that we're looking for. So okay, how many combinations do we have left? So the black started over here, blue started here, the green started there. What do we do next? Again, it's just a guess. You're just mucking around with it. So if the black goes in the middle and the blue goes back to the outside, so that's resetting to what we did before. Let's swap these two around. Green out, green into the stripe, blue into the brown. See what happens. Neighbours' kids are out, so it's going to be interesting. So, lights on. It's a dull light. That's good because we actually want the bright light for the brake. So, activate the brake. All of a sudden, we now have a brake light. Let's try the foot. And the foot works as well. Let's go all the way up to full lights. Lights on, activate the brake. We've got a brake light. Activate the foot. we've got a footlight. All of a sudden, we have a functioning tail light, headlight's still on, dash light on the dial's on, and the brake light is activating the way it should be. The second filament, the brighter filament, is lighting up. So simply by going through the trial and error process of what's working where and when, we now have a functioning tail light without a wire color reference or having to go to a diagram. You've got 3 wires. 3 wires coming out of the loom, 3 wires coming from the light itself, going into what you want to have fitted. That's it. It's as simple as that. It's a little bit of muck around, but this is to illustrate to you that test lights, multimeters are great. Don't get me wrong, I'm not in any way discounting them, but it's to illustrate that even if you don't really know what's going on with what you've got, you can still troubleshoot it and get to the point where the thing that you need to work can work. Now, your tail light is most definitely something that you need working. Your tail light is going to tell people that you're stopping or that you're there in the first place. I've had a couple of incidences here in town where people have decided that following closely behind me is a good thing. I gave them the wave off, but a few taps on this with a functioning fucking brake lever out the front and your foot gets them to back off. And there we go. It's as simple as that. So that's out of the loom, nicely taped up. The one thing that we're mildly concerned about is going to be the exposed ends of these wires here. Power's off at this point. We're not going to have anything short out on us. However, when we bind them up like that, to have them nicely put away inside the loom, there's the chance that we could have a short. I'm not going to insult the intelligence. Grab some electrical tape, give them a wrap around. Firstly, it'll keep it secure inside the weatherproof fitting that the bike comes with. Secondly, you're weatherproofing it and you're also removing the opportunity for it to short or spark across itself. From there, it's literally just mount up the tail light where you need it to go, have that nicely cleaned up and keep your wires out of the way. Simple. Again, not going to insult your intelligence by showing you me doing this, but what I'm here to do is sort of illustrate that you don't need to be some sort of rocket scientist to figure out how to get all your bits and pieces working. $90 Ella Speed Brisbane. It's called Posh Black. I like the look of it. It's got more of that lamp, especially with the housing to it. Look, that cafe racer style. This little baby here, again, nothing bloody wrong with it. I wish I didn't lose the lens, then I wouldn't have to go through this, but at least I got to show you what I got to do. So this is going to come off. It's going to go sit in the pile, and the pile is going to keep growing. Hopefully one day I can find another lens, and she's there ready to rock and roll again. So, hope you enjoyed that video. Hope it taught you something. Hopefully it just showed that you don't need to be an expert. You can just be someone sitting around trying to figure it out for yourself, and you can get there. You got 3 wires in, 3 wires out. What's 3 by 3 by 3? I think that's 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. 27 different possible combinations for how those wires could come together. Wiring diagram may or may not help you. I know mine has for certain things, but for other things, the colouring that the wiring diagram has showed me for the bike is completely different to what's actually on here. Especially if you're a second-hand owner, you never know who's gone in there before you and done whatever they've done. So, there you go. That's doing the tail light. Happened a bit quicker than I thought, so cheers. Happy Sunday. Hope you got out for a ride on the weekend. As always, keep the rubber side down, stay upright and have fun doing it. And I'll see you in the next